We asked storytellers to select a type of story and some words to inspire the stories that they tell.
This is a love letter to Doug Henning. He was a famous magician. He had a lot of TV specials, and I really only know one of them very well. He's no longer alive, but when I was growing up, his career was very active. And in my house, we would sometimes videotape something off of TV to rewatch. And the two things that I remember rewatching the most were Mary Poppins and Doug Henning's World of Magic, one of the specials. This special, my brother and I would watch very, very often. And my brother's older than I am, and he really loved that he could figure out how Doug Henning did these tricks. Magic is illusion, after all. And my brother loved to figure out how the illusion worked. And I loved to get lost in the illusion and to never find out if I didn't have to. So I'd get really annoyed when my brother would try to tell me how it happened, because I was like, no, you'll spoil it. But there are many times that my brother and I would sit there and watch this particular special. In the special, he had many guests come on. He'd do lots of tricks, some of them with rings of fire. One of them was pouring chocolate milk into different size cups, and it seemed like the pitcher never ended. It was kind of actually like in Mary Poppins when she pulls stuff out of the carpet bag. That was one of my favorite moments. That was another illusion I did not want spoiled for me. But with Doug Henning, the reason why I loved the world that he created so much, aside from that there's magic and it was beautiful and interesting, really what I loved about him was the way he spoke, the way he carried himself, the way he delighted in everything that he was doing. He was really kind of a hippie magician, and he would wear these spandex, bright colored outfits, bright red and bright blue, and there would be sparkles on it like he was an ice skater or something. But his manner was also kind of like Bob Ross, another person I could have written this or said this love letter to today. What Doug Henning had was that sort of quiet joy and the ability to transmit that through his tricks, through his conversations, and just through how he set up the narrative of what he was doing. One of my favorite segments of the whole show was at the end. He and his wife it's no longer in the studio, and he and his wife are in a meadow, and he's riding a black horse and she's riding a white horse, and they tell a story in voiceover of a story of a couple who was in love, but they were supposed to not be together, and through the illusion of the camera work and what they're doing, if I remember correctly, some magic happens and then all of a sudden they're riding together on a zebra, and there's I think there's a rainbow poster board with them, or there's a rainbow in the background or something. And he used rainbows a lot, as a lot of people sort of with his manner did, to express the beauty of the natural world. And there's so much love and sensitivity in the way he presented his illusion to fill everyone with delight. A couple years ago, I was reading about him and the story of how he and his wife met, and how even though he'd been doing magic for a while, it wasn't until he really met her that it kind of all moved forward in a bigger way, in a way that gave him a sense of purpose and brought even more love to the productions that he created, because they were productions. And but it was through that love that the two of them shared that they really expanded. And I think that, I mean, not to be so cheesy right now, but I do think that is kind of the biggest magic. It's not really an illusion. And it's an amazing thing that I feel like when I watched that special, I could see that in them. Like, even that personal connection conveyed through the medium of TV, through what's not natural, what is electric, but that you still really felt that connection and that softness that that he had. And I will also say, like, it's not, to me, so usual of a thing to see a man take positions of real leadership with that kind of sensitivity and focus on love and rainbows and fairy tales and all that. And I just really admired that he did that. So for those reasons, I hope whoever of his family is around can hear this, that I just think that Doug Henning was, he wove a lot of magic, and it wasn't all illusion. So thank you, Doug Henning.